Hello, once again, and welcome back to another top tip for your international business. Now, this is part 2 in the 3-part series where we're looking at the 3 key areas that my in-house international business program supports clients with. So last week, we looked at how clients can start to adapt their processes around meetings, negotiations as they build up relationships with these clients internationally. And today we're looking at marketing. So what do we need to be thinking about with our marketing as we start to work internationally? Now, these are just a few tiny tips, and it's just a really small part of the whole business program. But take away from today these 3 or 4 actually key areas. The first one's looking at your marketing. Think about the use of imagery. Are there any images that you may need to adapt? Think about local references that might be in those images, or body parts even, and animals. Then you've got to think about your colors. So what kind of colors are you using, and what impact will those colors have locally? Remember that in China, green and red are not the same as they might be here, and often on profit and loss charts, they're flipped over. Red is really lucky. And of course, numbers. So think about the numbers that you're using as well, because these can have different impacts around the world. Now, of course, on top of all of that, I need you to think about a 4th point, the layout of the content that you're sending. And within that, you're looking at the space, the design, but also as well the words that you're using. How much detail do you need to include, and how much detail can you remove? So there's all of these different elements. Like I say, they're just a very small part of a much bigger process, but they're a really good starting point. Check back next week, where we'll be looking at, very briefly, what we can do to think about our sales process and how we're going to adapt that. Go back and watch last week's video if you've not seen it already, where we touched on meetings and negotiations. See you next week for part 3.